All right, we are live on YouTube, and today we're going to be discussing sore losers, how this is about to affect us now and in the future. So stick around and find out exactly what I'm talking about. All of that and much, much more is coming right. Whoa! From Northern California, welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. And after you bang that bell, when that pop-up box pops up, make sure that you select all notifications, because that way you won't miss a single thing. You will not miss anything when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. That's right. That's what we do over here in my neck of the woods on the Grip on Life channel. We help people, everyone, regardless of who you are or where you come from, get a better grip on your life. That doesn't mean you don't already have somewhat of a grip on your life. I'm not trying to take anything away from you folks. Everyone is unique in their own special way or ways, right? I'm just here to help push you through that struggle to allow you to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish and that your heart desires. So that's what we're here for. Now, before we get to today's show, once again, I'd like to pay special props, a very special thank you to the sponsor of this channel. That's Mr. Troy Brewer, who is the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network. For all of your product and service needs from the most trusted professionals in the industry, please consider visiting www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. One more time, that's www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. You can also visit a subsidiary of the Discover Community Network known as the DCN Internet Radio Network. It stands for Discover Community Network Internet Radio Network. And if you go to that website, you will see a bunch of internet radio stations. Most of them are music stations. And one of those music stations more than likely suits your music genre needs. So you can check that out and listen to your favorite tunes while you work throughout the day or just kick back and relax. But in addition, there are also a bunch of talk radio stations out there, which I love. I love talk radio. I know some of you do as well. Especially, I love talk radio, especially, which is what I'm trying to say, because that's what I pretty much do here on my channel when I do live streams. It's like a talk show, like a talk radio show, but with video as well. So if you're into talk, there's more than likely a DCN talk radio station that will suit your needs. If you'd like to check out the site and see what's out there, please consider visiting www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. One more time, that's www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. Both of those links are below in the description, about a third of the way down. And if you check out those sites, you can also find out how to reach out to Troy if you'd like to say hello to him. And if you do reach out to Troy to say hello, please make sure that you let him know that Coach Eli sends you with lots and lots and lots and lots of love. All right. Welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm not quite sure how long I'm going to be on here tonight. I don't have a script for this show. I don't really have anything, pre-planned for this. I'm going to go on the fly. Obviously, last night or yesterday was election day here in America, election day 2020. And most of you that have been following the story know that the election has not been decided yet. It has gone into a second day, and it may even go beyond that due to the large amount of mail-in voters mail-in votes, and absentee ballots, etc. All stemming because of the pandemic, and that was to be expected. So I'm going to be sharing some thoughts about the election. That's primarily what this topic is about when I say sore losers. But there are a few other examples I may end up mentioning along the way. I'm certainly going to be using examples of my experiences in dealing with people on YouTube and off of YouTube for the last 4 years since President Trump's been in office as part of this topic. So definitely stick around for that. But before we get to that, I want to mention again today, and I probably going to have to mention this on every stream, that all of my live streams for the past week and into the future, unless I selectively choose to make one completely public, including the chat, all of my live streams are still going to be publicly viewable by anyone. But if you want to chat while I'm live in my live stream chat, you will need to become a member of this channel. I do have 5 membership packages ranging from as little as $4.99 per month all the way up to $99.99 per month. All 5 of those packages get you the exact same thing. One of the perks of all those packages is going to allow you to chat in a members-only live chat, which is where all my public streams are headed towards that now and into the future. Unless I occasionally choose to make one completely free, I reserve the right to do that. But for the most part, most of these chats are going to be members only. So if you want to find out how to become a member, go on your laptop or desktop and click the join button on any part of my channel. And you can check out all the packages there. Additionally, to make it very clear once again, because I have not seen all my moderators in a while, all moderators are exempt to this, meaning that you're able to chat for free. Just like Lewis Fuller showed up into the chat here. Hey, Lewis Fuller, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the show. Great to see you here. I don't know if you just heard that I'm now running members-only chats. If you're a moderator, you automatically get a freebie because you're serving as a moderator. But if you're not a moderator, you will not be able to chat in this chat unless you either purchase a monthly membership here on this channel, or if you want to send a message or two every show, you're going to have to go below to the bottom of the chat and click on that $sign and send a super chat. Click on the super chat for as little as $1 on your laptop or desktop or on your Android, or as little as 99 cents on your iPhone. You can send a message if you're not a member, but if you're not a member, every time you want to send a message, you're going to have to send a super chat. So think about it. If you're going to send more than 5 messages per month, the value of becoming a member of this channel is going to tremendously further increase for you. So that's up to you folks, what you want to do. Again, as I've been mentioning, the reason why my chats are members only now is because I want people to chat here and be a part of this channel that truly want to be a part of this channel. I'm not looking for any trolls. I'm not looking for any haters. I'm not looking for any people that are, trying to diminish my message or hurt other people that are trying to work with me or that I'm going to be helping as well on the flip side. So that's why I am doing that. So let's see here. Good afternoon to you, host. Good afternoon, Lewis Fuller. Before I get to the chat real quick, let me make sure that the notification went out. And the notification has gone out. And the stream health is looking pretty good. All right. I'll get the chat real quick. Then we're going to get right to the show. Lewis Fuller again says, good afternoon to you, host. Good afternoon, Lewis. I just gave you a like. Thank you for the like, Lewis Fuller. Anyone else out there that gets value from this channel, please consider smashing that like button. Also, if you have not subscribed, like I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the stream, please subscribe and then bang the bell and make sure you select all notifications to ensure you get notifications when I go live, put out a premiere video or a regular pre-recorded video as well. Lewis Fuller says, hi, I am good today. Lewis Fuller, have you been watching the election results, man? And if you want to publicly share your thoughts, please feel free to do so. I would love to get your feedback. And if any other moderators or channel members show up during this stream, we will get to their chat messages throughout the show. If not, I've got plenty of things to talk about. There's just a lot going on. And again, if you folks have been following the election coverage since yesterday and continuing on to today, because the presidency has not been finalized yet. Basically, they're still counting votes in many states. There's been a lot going on, and I'm going to talk about that here today. But like I mentioned on my stream a couple days ago that I did regarding the election, I want to make it very clear. I want to make one thing very clear. Lewis Fuller says, yes, he's been watching the election coverage. I don't know of anyone here in the U.S. or possibly all over the world that hasn't been paying attention to this. It's one of the biggest, most important elections in our country's history, in my opinion. But before I start to run my mouth, and I'm being facetious when I say that, because I'm going to be very professional and just state how I feel in the most proper and professional, honest, and ethical ways possible. But again, I want to make it very clear that I am a slight left liberal. I've never denied that. I'm not a liberal extremist, and I'm nowhere on the right. Okay? I'm actually more so down the middle. I have always been about the best overall interest of everyone. Okay, I've always cared about people, regardless of your age, your race, your sex, your national origin, your sexual orientation, whether you're male or female, gay, straight, lesbian, bi, trans, gender nonconforming. There are so many protected classes, not only here in the U.S. nowadays, but all over the world. I love each and every one of you. You are all very unique in your own special ways. And, you all have the right to speak your mind. You all have the right to cast your vote if you're over 18 years of age and you register. And you all should have an equal say. This is not going to be about left versus right, blue versus red, okay? Democrats versus Republicans, liberals versus conservatives. This is not going to be about that, because that's not what I am about. I am not about competing amongst political parties, even though, I'm slightly on the left and I like views from both sides. I like some views from the left I like, and some views from the left I don't like, and some views from the right I like, and some views from the right I don't like. Okay? Even though I'm a slight left liberal, I'm going to speak from the heart, and I'm going to speak fairly and equally to everyone. Now, I will make it very, very clear. I believe I mentioned it in my last stream, but most people that know me know that I voted for Joe Biden. If this is your first time here or you didn't know that, I voted for Joe Biden. And let me just start off and say why I voted for Joe Biden. And why I feel Joe Biden is not only going to make a big difference for Democrats in this country, he'll make a big difference for Republicans, independents, or any other political party out there that I failed to mention. Joe Biden has everyone's best interest in his head and heart. He has said it himself time and time again, and he even said it again earlier today in a speech that he gave. As more and more election results came in, as more and more remaining states that have not been decided yet are counting their mail-in ballots and their absentee ballots, same thing, you know what I'm saying. But yeah, Joe Biden has said, we have political, parties for everything. And while it may matter for all other offices of government. When it comes to the president has a due diligence responsibility to take care of the entire country, regardless of your political party views. He has preached that from the very beginning when he hit the campaign trail, and he continues to preach that, and I fully, completely believe him. This is something that I personally have always felt ever since I was a little kid. For my entire life, I have always been the kind of person that is not judgmental to anyone, regardless of who they are, where they come from. Like I said, regardless of their age, race, sex, national origin, male, female, sexual orientation, whatever. I've always loved people. Okay? I have never been a judgmental person. If I was going to be even a little judgmental, the only times I, judge people even a little bit is when they have a crappy attitude. If you have a crappy attitude, I don't care where you come from or who you are. You're just a crappy person. I don't want to be around you. I'll try to help you. But typically when you try to help, crappy people with crappy attitudes, it's like, hitting a brick wall. Until those people realize and dig deep within themselves that there's a personal issue within them that's making them feel crappy, no one can help them unless they can identify the issue within themselves and allow other people like me or others in general to help them. They cannot be helped. That's the bottom line. Lewis Fuller says, I think everyone is holding their breath. Yeah. If I had to say how I feel about that right now at this moment, Lewis, especially after everything that happened today, that put Biden in a pretty good position to win this election. It's not over until the fat lady sings, figuratively speaking. The fat lady has not, started singing yet. Biden has not won. No one has won, but I feel pretty good about the position Biden is in to take this election. And I will say that I'm thrilled by it. And I'm not thrilled by it for the reasons that some people may think. There are many people out here on YouTube that don't like me because I'm a slight left liberal. I have dealt with so many conservative people out here that didn't like me. And it's their choice whether they like me or like anyone else or not, right? That's not the problem I had. The problem I had is the majority of these conservative people not only expressed the fact they didn't like me, they started attacking me. They started saying very hateful things, derogatory things, racial things. They started attacking my family in real life, my former place of self-employment as an insurance broker. They started attacking my friends. They started to do things to try to kick me down. That's not what good people do. And the staggering thing about this is a whole group of people conglomerated over the last several years. I've mentioned this before, but I want to kind of bring it back up again because it makes sense for this topic. A whole group of people conglomerated together over the past several years between a former YouTube channel I used to run and this one to attack me, primarily on the fact that I'm a slight left liberal. They've even gone as far and said I'm a liberal sack of, let's just say doo-doo so I don't get demonetized here. A liberal sack of doo-doo is what they've called me. Okay? The staggering thing is that all these people that came at me were all conservatives. I never had one liberal person attack me. Now, I've had liberal people disagree with me, and maybe feel similar as some of these conservatives I was just speaking about, have been feeling about me. But they did not attack me. They just shared how they felt. And once they said what they had to say, they moved on. That's what most normal people do. Most normal people are going to, if they disagree with you, they're going to disagree with you, and then they're going to let it go, and they're going to move on. So why do I feel a lot of these conservative people out here on YouTube I've dealt with for the past 4 years, between my former YouTube channel I used to run and this one, did this to me? Why? It's pretty interesting. And as I have continued to watch these election results, like for example, yesterday, I didn't do a stream because I wanted to watch CNN pretty much all day. I started watching CNN from morning all day and into the wee hours of the night. Then I got some rest and I woke up and I started watching CNN again today. And what CNN does, and most of the major networks do this, but I love how CNN does it the best. And it's not because, like most conservatives say, CNN is more of a liberal biased, news network, right? There may be some truth to that. There may be some truth that CNN is run more as a liberal-based station, just like Fox News is run as more of a conservative-based station. What I like about CNN is that they're fair between both sides, and they interview and speak with liberals and conservatives, and they are very, very fair with their projections. One example, last night, Fox News projected that Joe Biden would take the state of Arizona, and CNN did not project it. So it's odd to me that the conservative, news station, news network, Fox News, would project Joe Biden, the opponent, to win Arizona when the race was nowhere near the end. There were still many, and there are still, to this point of this live stream, a ton of votes to count, right? So CNN made that very clear. We're not going to make this projection for Arizona until we are 100% certain, right? So to me, the difference between the way conservatives and liberals handle things is like night and day. And I'm not saying that to be critical. I'm saying that's what I've experienced, especially over the last 4 years being out here on YouTube. Now, I live in California, in the Bay Area, and the entire West Coast, Washington, Oregon, California, etc., have always been liberal states. So I've never, ever, ever had to deal with conservatives coming at me at the level I did out here on YouTube for the past 4 years because they were nowhere near me. Now, there are conservatives here in California and on the West Coast. I mean, there are conservatives even in blue states. But even those conservatives I'm friends with, and we get along because these conservatives are not the same types of conservatives that I've been dealing with out here, on the West Coast, primarily here in California where I live. The conservatives, in my opinion, back east or in the Midwest, in those areas, you're talking about Georgia, you're talking about, Florida, you're talking about Texas, you're talking about, Idaho. You're talking about all those states in those areas right there. The conservatives in those areas, I never dealt with them. And I got to tell you, my experiences in dealing with those people was unlike anything I've ever dealt with in my entire life. Never in my life have I dealt with such hateful, inappropriate people that are just ridiculous with what they say and do. Not all the time, but most of the time. And so, I started when I was watching CNN, I was looking at them going through the map, and they were saying, okay, how did Trump win 2016 and how can he win 2020, right? How did he win the 2016 election and how, can he win 2020? So what did Trump do? Trump didn't focus on the big, major, highly populated counties. He focused on all the little tiny counties that have smaller populations. And when they all add up, if he gets all of those, for the most part, if he gets all of those, he could win those states, right? And I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's a pretty smart strategy. Okay. And that's how he won 2016. And not trying to be disrespectful to anyone that's conservative or anyone in the lower class. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to state my opinions about things that are pretty much facts, but these are my opinions. Okay? In those red states that Trump took in 2016, he got all the votes from those little tiny counties, right? People with a population of maybe like 10,000, 8,000, 3,000, etc., right? And you may think that, those aren't a lot of people there to vote. But when you have 30 or 40 of those counties, and then you have 2 or 3 other big counties that are primarily, Democratic, right? There are more, Democrats and liberals in those areas. You would think that there's no way he could take the state. But when you add all them up, right? And then if he's close in those blue areas within that state, he's going to win. But let's go deeper in those smaller counties of those states that Trump won in 2016. What type of people are living there? Again, I'm not trying to be judgmental. I'm being honest. I'm sharing my honest opinion based on facts. These are just facts, right? A lot of those areas, as you get out into the rural areas, it is cheaper to live in a rural area than an urban area. I live in an urban area in the most expensive place to live on the planet. So trust me, if I understand the difference between living in an urban area where there are a lot of people than a rural area, it's night and day. So it is much cheaper to live in a rural area. So Trump was hammering these rural areas, which primarily consist of lower class citizens. Now, I'm not trying to be disrespectful by saying lower class citizens. That is something that our government acknowledges. There's the lower class, the middle class, and then the upper class, right? And based on your level of income that's what defines what class you are, right? So these are areas, a lot of poor areas, a lot of areas where, there may be a heavy minority population there. Again, not trying to be critical, just stating the facts, okay? Or there are a lot of, Caucasian, conservative people there, most of them middle-aged, okay, that are living in those areas. And because of the fact, this is my opinion, because of the fact that a lot of these people living in those lower class areas haven't had a voice or haven't had the opportunities that people living in a middle class or upper class area have, which is what I'm trying to say. When Trump came around and made all these promises to them, they bought into Trump. And then another thing that Trump did was give these people a voice. On top of it, and the problem wasn't giving these people a voice. Everyone should have a voice, regardless of where you are, where you come from, whether you're middle class, lower class, upper class, everyone should have a voice. But typically people in the lower class are going to feel inferior. They're going to feel like no one's going to want to listen to me because I'm lower class. Well, Trump went in there and gave them that voice, which is not a bad thing to do, with the exception of what he added on top of that. What he added on top of that is he said, don't let anyone silence your freedom of speech. You can go out there and say whatever it is you want to say. It doesn't matter. Freedom of speech is freedom of speech. He basically made these people feel like they can go out there and say whatever it is they want to say. Now these people are empowered. So what happened the last 4 years? These people have been empowered in ways they've never been empowered before, right? And because they bought into the president, now they're starting to mimic his behavior. And then when President Trump would go out there and say hateful things, right? I'm just going to blanket, the statement and say he said a lot of hateful things. These people felt empowered that they could go out there and say those same hateful things. And I got a lot of that out here on YouTube for the last 4 years. That's why I voted for Joe Biden. I didn't vote for Joe Biden because he's a Democrat and Donald Trump's a Republican. Am I a registered Democrat? Sure, yes. If there's a president that's more suited to be in office as a Republican in the future, I will vote for the better candidate regardless of their party. I voted for Joe Biden because I'm tired of all the hate. I'm tired of all the racism. I'm tired of all of the division that President Trump has created across this country. I am tired of all the division. But even more than the division, like I said a second ago, I'm tired of all the hate. I'm tired of the racism. Okay? I'm tired of, people attacking, people because they're gay or they're lesbian or they're bi, I'm also tired of conservatives feeling that they now have the right to attack liberals solely on the fact of being liberals. I got a comment from a conservative guy on my previous stream saying that liberalism is a disease. I didn't delete his comment. I left it up and I responded to him and I said, that's your opinion. Can you explain to me in greater detail why you feel liberalism is a disease? Have a great day and take care. I didn't let it offend me, and to be honest, it didn't offend me. But the person that responded, in my opinion, was one of these empowered people of many that President Trump empowered to be this way because what these people are doing now that they have a voice, they're just mimicking the president's behavior. And anything the president says or does, these people, follow him like a sheep. Like Trump is the sheep herder and these people are the sheep. Is that the way that you want to live your life? Like I have to ask, and look, I'm not saying that there aren't any liberals that are hateful people. There are. And I'm not saying that there aren't any good conservatives out there. There are. There are good and bad people from both sides. I'm looking at it from a majority standpoint. And when I look at the left versus right, and I take the majority of liberals, in my opinion, are people that will handle things more professionally and maturely, whether they win or lose. What I've seen from conservatives, especially conservatives from back east or in the Midwest, like I was saying a second ago, is that if these people win, if these conservatives win, they'll rub it in your face. Or they'll try to, say that they've already won something before it's even been decided, kind of like what Trump did last night. I'll get to that in a little bit here. But if they lose, and this is the point of the show here, if these conservatives lose, they are sore losers. And when I say being a sore loser, it's one thing to be a sore loser. As you get older, you should just be able to brush things off, okay? It's immature to be a sore loser. But if you're going to be a sore loser for a minute or two or a couple hours, and then you just let it go, I can understand that. But when these conservatives lose, not only are they sore losers immediately they continue to be sore losers indefinitely. And then they try to find ways to attack the other side and try to make them, feel like they did something wrong and that they didn't deserve the victory, right? Rather than just saying, hey, dude, you know what? Good game. Or, you beat me. Awesome, dude. Congratulations. How about a rematch? Dude, would you be open to that? Okay. If they handled it that way maturely, no problem. But that's not the way these people have been handling things, especially for the last 4 years. And that's why, in my opinion, or as a fact for me, that we need a new president. I'm not saying that Donald Trump didn't do anything well in office. He did do some things that helped the country. I don't think there's ever been a president, no matter how good or bad they were, that didn't at least accomplish a few good things, whether they were a Democrat or Republican. But the amount of damage that President Trump has caused regarding division in this country, when our country is supposed to be united and be about unity, is something that's going to be hard to repair. This country, folks, is very damaged and it is divided. I have never, ever, ever seen the United States of America, the good old US of A, where I live, be as divided as it is today and has been for the last 4 years. And it breaks my heart. It literally breaks my heart that this has happened and continues to happen. I'm speaking here today not as a liberal or a conservative or an independent or a libertarian or whatever, right? I'm speaking here today as a U.S. citizen, as a human being that was born and raised with traditional morals, values, and ethics, that was raised to say please when asking for something and to say thank you when given something. Over the last 4 years, I hardly hear people saying please and thank you anymore. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because it's leading me to believe that we're becoming more of a selfish culture and selfish environment than uniting together and working together to create better good for everyone. Breaks my heart. Really breaks my heart. Now, I want to mention one more thing. Then I'm going to take a quick break and come back and share a little bit more about my thoughts about what happened in the election last night and what's happening up to the current moment today. I mean, right now, the time of this live stream is 6:44 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:44 p.m. Pacific Time here in my neck of the woods in the San Francisco Bay Area, Northern California, on Wednesday, November 4th, the day after the election. I'm going to share those thoughts when I come back from the break. But before I take the break, I'm going to share something here. I'm not going to show on the screen. I'm going to read it. I'm not going to mention who this person is, but this person's going to know that I'm talking about his post, and I don't care if he knows. I actually want him to know, and I would love to see him respond to this if he wants. I don't care if he does or doesn't. I'm just putting it out there to prove a point, okay? I was sent a screenshot of a creator out here on YouTube that up until about maybe the last 3 to 6 months was harassing me, attacking me, and doing lots of crazy things to me out here on YouTube. He considers himself a conservative, and he may as well be. I don't know if I would consider him one with the way he behaves, but he considers himself to be a conservative, and he did vote for Trump. And most of you will know that most of you that have been following me for a while will know who I'm talking about. If not, it doesn't matter. I don't want to publicly mention it. But I'm going to read what he wrote in this community post last week. He wrote, "I have begun to sign up for various forms of alt tech in order to back up everything just in case Google removes me after this election. The links are below for some of them." Let me repeat that one more time. I have begun to sign up for various forms of alt tech in order to back up everything just in case Google removes me after this election. Sir, you know I'm talking about you without mentioning your name. And you yourself have said in the past, I haven't watched you in ages, but you said that you will always watch me. So I'm assuming you're going to either see this live on the replay or someone will tell you about it. Whether you do or don't, it doesn't really matter to me. But I got to ask you, why would you do that? Why would you feel the need to move off of the Google/YouTube platform? YouTube's owned by Google. You say Google because they are Google accounts. I get it. But why would you say in case Google removes me after the election? Because this is what translated, this is what you're saying. You're saying that if Joe Biden wins and Donald Trump loses, you will no longer have the protection or feel like you have the right to take your freedom of speech above and beyond what it was created to be into hateful and inappropriate content that you've been creating on this platform for many, many years. And that's the truth. Sir, you have attacked many people on this platform to stir up the pot for your own benefit. Why have you done that? Because you, sir, are one of those lower class citizens that I was mentioning. With no disrespect, I'm just trying to prove a point. You are one of those lower class citizens that came from nothing. You didn't have the best upbringing. I can understand that. And until Trump got into office, you probably felt like you really didn't have a voice. Now, you've been on YouTube longer than Trump's been in office. That's what you're going to come back at me with. But you really didn't make your run on YouTube until Trump got in office, because you felt a level of protection regarding your freedom of speech that you never had before. Now, you're going to come back at me and say, well, Google and YouTube keep silencing conservative speech. That's what you're going to say. That's what you and all other conservatives like you have said, right? You're going to say that, right? And I've said this for the last 3.5, 4 years. I'll say it again. Google and YouTube are not silencing freedom of speech. They're silencing hate speech, inappropriate content, racism, and all that stuff. Now, you seem to think, and other conservatives like yourself, the lower class, middle-aged Caucasian conservatives, those are the people I've had the biggest issue with. You seem to think that your freedom of speech is just that, and it includes being able to attack and harass and stalk people, right? And do what you've done out here on YouTube, right? That's the furthest thing from the truth, sir. But at the same time, I have to ask you, are you a good human being deep within? And is this all just an act? Or is this who you really are? Because if you claim to be a good human being outside of all this, then you're contradicting yourself between your offline and online persona. And even if you're just doing this online to make money, why can't you make money presenting your material in a more reasonable honest and ethical way without having to attack people and judge them based on their race or their, whether they're male or female, or their age or whatever, right? Or their sexual orientation. What gives you the right to do that? You feel you have the right to do that, right? You've been doing that because that's how, your commander-in-chief or our commander-in-chief, he was mine too, whether I liked it or not, that's how he handles things. So you're just mimicking Donald Trump. So now, I can't sit here and definitively say that Joe Biden will be the next president because it hasn't been finalized yet, but it more so looks like it's going to end up that way. Joe Biden's in the driver's seat right now as of this very moment. 6:51 p.m. Eastern, 3:51 p.m. Pacific on November 4th, 2020. You're beginning to realize that your free pass to somewhat get away with this is about to end. And you want to know something, sir, and everyone else, to all the other conservatives out there that rode this wave on YouTube and other platforms and got away with a lot of hateful things to make money while good people like me suffered because of you guys, guess what? Now it's my turn. Again, I can't guarantee that Biden's going to win. It's looking pretty good. It's looking very good. I think it was 253 to 213 before I went live on the air. But if Biden wins, and more than likely he will, I'm saying more than likely, even though I think he'll win because I want to be fair. I'm a fair person. But if Biden wins, you're going to see a big shift of things turning back to normal. And people like me that were attacked by all these people for many, many years, you're going to see us have a more fair opportunity with our right to free enterprise. And the conversation is going to get a lot better. The attacks will be much less because they're going to be more so silenced. Because Joe Biden is not going to stand for racism. It's not going to stand for hate speech. It's not going to stand, for attacking people because their sexual orientation isn't in alignment with yours. And you know that. And that's why a lot of you conservatives, not all conservatives, the ones I'm talking about here, which make the majority, that's why you attack the liberals, because we work hard to create our own things. And we don't need to go out there and attack other people and make other people, we don't go out there and try to kick other people down to make ourselves feel better, to bring ourselves more value, which is what I'm trying to say. It's the best way to put it. So to you, sir, I've given you enough airtime. You know who you are. I'm sure you're going to do some reaction video or some stream. And whether you do or don't, I don't care. I'm not going to watch. It doesn't matter. I'm just putting it out there as an example. Like when the person that sent me that screenshot, because I don't read your community posts anymore, and I don't watch your videos anymore. But when I was sent that, I was like, wow. Even this guy that was so sure that Trump would get reelected is now beginning to see the light, because all the early polls before the election favored Biden, right? So you knew that you had to come up with your exit strategy before YouTube and Google exile you, right? You're being proactive, which is not a bad thing, dude. I got to give you that. You're being proactive. This is the first time I've seen you own up to what's coming. Now, I don't think you're doing it for the right reasons. I think you're doing it because you feel forced. No one's forcing you, dude. I'll tell you this. I talk about the same exact things that you and the other conservative people talk about, right? Before I go to the break, let me share this. I talk about the same things that you and other conservatives talk about, right? So why am I not being shut down, and why am I not being demonetized? But you are, and many others are or have been that are conservative. Then you go out there and whine like a little baby and say that, oh, you're silencing conservative speech. No, no one is silencing anyone's speech. They're silencing hateful content and attacks. What part of that don't you understand? And don't you have any more than that to bring to the table? My stream that I did the other day, 2 days ago, I'm going to go to it right now because I want to tell you what happened. I'm not going to show it on the screen, but I'm going to it right now so you folks can see. Wow, this current stream is still monetized. Great. So my stream that I did 2 days ago, with the thumbnail that said unity is about to return. And then the title was, after 4 years of division, unity is about to return. Pretty clean title and thumbnail, right? But in the tags, you know, I put Joe Biden's name, Donald Trump's name, Kamala Harris, election 2020, all that stuff, right? At the end of the stream was demonetized. It had the yellow icon, not suitable for most advertisers. And I waited a few hours because sometimes it flips back to green without having to submit a manual review. When it didn't flip to green, I was like, okay, the artificial intelligence, you know, it's saying that this is not advertiser friendly. I submitted it for a manual review, and because they've been getting a lot, it took a few days. But earlier today, 2 days later, YouTube remonetized that video and sent me the email saying, great news. After manually reviewing your video, we've determined that it is suitable for all advertisers. So why are they even remonetizing me manually after I get demonetized by the artificial intelligence? Right? The AI was probably thinking that, okay, he's talking about the presidency, he's talking about unity and division and all that. So it's thinking it could be something that's controversial, right? It may be slightly controversial, but it's not controversial to the point of where it's not advertiser friendly, right? You see, sir, what you're going to say is that you're going to come back at me and say that YouTube is near where you live in liberal sack of doo-doo, California, right? I'm going to say doo-doo so I don't get demonetized here. You're going to say YouTube is in liberal sack of doo-doo, California, right? And they remonetized you because you suited their agenda. No, sir. That's the furthest thing from the truth. The truth of the matter is I present my content in honest, ethical, and genuine ways. And I make it very clear that I'm not here to attack anyone, and I love everyone, and I'm just tired of the division. I'm all about unity and bringing people together. And that person that watched however much of the video they watched saw it and they started hearing that, they're like, this is a good dude. He's not about left versus right. He's not about blue versus red. He's about what's right for the best overall interest of anyone. I'm going to go ahead and remonetize his thing right now. That's the real reason, dude. But see, because you have no other content besides hateful content, because you didn't have the same opportunities that some of us had, which I feel for you on that. You have to go out there and make something out of yourself and stand out by being a hateful person. And because you present your content in hateful ways, because that's the only way you can get attention and make money, that's why you get shut down and get demonetized, and I don't. We say the same exact things, dude. We talk about similar things. Not all the time, but sometimes, right? But when I talk about the same things you talk about that get you removed and demonetized, I'm fully monetized? Come on, man. That should speak for itself. So enough said about that. Enough said about that. We are at 54 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and cue up some royalty-free YouTube music. Give me 1 second here. So give me a second here. And then when I get back, we're going to talk about what happened yesterday and how President Trump reacted, and then how Joe Biden reacted, and where we're at. And, what does this mean for the future? What does this mean for the future? And, for the sore losers out there, how is this about to affect us now and in the future? I'm going to give you a little hint before I take the break here. It's going to affect all of us, including Republicans, Democrats, including every single American, and maybe even people outside of the U.S. It's going to affect all of us in many more positive ways than you've ever seen before. I see a big shift coming here. A lot of you conservatives are thinking that you're seeing this country falling apart. You've been brainwashed to think that by your commander-in-chief for the past 4 years, because he only had his best interest at heart, not yours and not mine. You folks just can't realize that, but wait until you see what happens during the next 4 years. Again, the election has not been decided yet. We still have a little ways to go. Maybe by tomorrow it'll be decided, maybe later tonight. We'll see. I'll keep watching CNN once I'm off the air. Then I'll do another stream to talk about that next. But more than likely, we're about to see a big shift heading back in the right direction here. So let me do this. I'm going to bring back a blast from the past as I lead back into the show. But I'm all set to go. All right, folks, I'm going to take a quick 5 to 7 or 8 minute break. Like I said, when we return, we're going to talk about last night's election, and we're going to talk about where we're at today, because the election, if you haven't heard yet, is still undecided. I don't think it was decided in the last hour that I've been on the air. So if it's changed, someone let me know in the chat. But I think we're still undecided. So stick around. We'll be right back. things are about to get so good. Woo! I feel good! You want to feel good with me? Come on now. Wait till you hear what's coming up next. A blast from the past. Back from my former channel when I used to run a show called Coach Eli Live. This was my theme song. Check it out. Yeah! 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 Woo! Ethan Mixel. Double Helix from the YouTube audio library. Not all songs are crappy on the YouTube audio library. Here we go. Feel it with me. Yeah! Ooh, yeah! Woo! Woo! Feel it with me. Feel it. Feel it good. Woo! If anyone cuts this, you will be subject to copyright infringement. You better believe it. Woo! Yeah! Whew. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Man, I got those juices flowing right now. I gotta tell you, I've got those juices flowing. Wow. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube, the world's most amazing and incredible platform where you can share a little bit of this, a little bit of that, with the best video, the best audio. There's no other platform like YouTube. And as long as you follow the rules and you're a good, awesome citizen, you'll have no problems. You'll have absolutely no problems like me. You can learn a thing or two from my book, if you ever listen to it. That's your choice, right? So today, we're discussing sore losers. How this is about to affect us now and in the future. Sore losers, how this is about to affect us now and in the future. And before I get to the next segment of the show, let's finish up with Ethan Mixel. The end of the song is coming. Yeah! Feel it with me! Whoa! Got an itch on my nose. Oh, sorry, itch on my lip. For good luck. An itch for good luck, right? All right, once again, folks, if you're just tuning in, you haven't been here for a while, my streams are still publicly available, but my chats have gone to members only. So if you're not a moderator, moderators will always be free regardless. But if you're not a moderator, there are two ways you can chat. One, you can become a member for as little as $4.99 per month and chat freely in the chat. You're still subject to the moderators and myself banning you for inappropriate behavior, which is what we're trying to get away from over here. And we have been doing that. Or you can go below to the bottom of the chat and hit that super chat. And for a minimum of $1 on your laptop, your desktop, or your Android phone, or a minimum of 99 cents on your iPhone, because Apple likes to deal with the 99-cent thing. Okay, you can send a message for every super chat that you send. Now, if you send 5 super chats per month just to chat, why not just buy a membership for $4.99 and chat in unlimited ways? Each month, right? And that way you can support the channel. And that will show me that you're also here for the right reasons. So, go click on that join button and you'll find out more. You're going to get a lot more than just being able to, chat in my members only chat public live streams. If you want to find out more, you know how to join this channel. Or at the bottom, or at the top of the description, which is what I'm trying to say, at the top of the description, you can click that link and it'll take you directly to the members only packages. Okay. All right. So we're back. And probably only going to be on for another 30 minutes or so. I want to discuss what happened yesterday in the election and where we stand. As of at least an hour ago, like I said, while I've been live, I have not been watching anything. I didn't check anything out while I was on break. But last night, the race ended up being a lot closer than was expected. The Biden campaign thought it would be more of a landslide. I personally thought it would be more of a landslide based on the president's rating nationally and just everything that has happened over the last 4 years and people wanting a change, right? But it ended up being a lot closer than probably most, of everyone expected, with the exception of CNN. CNN was saying that, we predicted this all along, that it would be a close and tight race. So a couple of noteworthy things that really just got to me last night. It really got to me and made me feel the need to talk about this today and create this topic regarding sore losers. I hate to say this. I hate to call, anyone a sore loser, let alone call the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, a sore loser. But President Trump, you, sir, are a sore loser. And I say that wholeheartedly with all due respect, sir. And I'm being tame and proper about it compared to how you've come at people in similar, situations, right? So last night, when it was when the election was not able to be decided because many states had a ton of voting that needed to be counted, voting that was done by mail, and a lot of those states were not allowed to start counting their absentee ballots or their mail-in votes until the morning of the election. And many of those states had hundreds of thousands and some millions of votes to count. Now, it appeared last night at one point that President Trump, the incumbent, President Trump, was going to win the election. It appeared, I'll be honest with you, I was thinking to myself, oh gosh, just don't tell me there's a repeat of 2016 coming, because this is exactly the way it was happening. Hillary had the lead, and then boom, Trump came in, boom, and then it was done, right? And then Hillary conceded at the end of the night, right? Okay? But that's not what started happening. See, Trump had the lead in many states, a pretty decent lead. But then as I started to pay closer and closer attention to what CNN was saying, they're saying there are a lot of absentee ballots and vote by mail votes that are unaccounted for, and those votes primarily were votes that were encouraged by the Biden campaign, Biden camp. The Biden camp was encouraging voters to go out and vote, not to go out, but to vote by mail, right? Primarily because we're in the middle of a pandemic, the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, right? For safety, right? While President Trump was out there campaigning, running campaigns, not wearing a mask, and not requiring anyone attending his campaigns to wear a mask. While Joe Biden took the opposite approach, right? I actually voted by mail for the first time ever. I always loved going to the polls as part of the process, right? It's part of our democracy to go to the polls and vote, right? But you've always had the right to vote by mail or get an absentee ballot in case you're not going to be around, right? Now, because of the fact that there were and still are a lot of votes that are being accounted for that were done by mail or absentee ballots. And Trump had a pretty big lead in those states, right? Trump came out, and I think it was around 12:30 a.m. Eastern time, which was about 9:30 p.m. Pacific time. That's what I love about being on the West Coast, when things happen after midnight back east, it's still a reasonable hour where I'm at. Now, I was still watching CNN at 12:30 a.m. Pacific time, 3 hours later. But this happened, I think it was around 12:30 Eastern time. And President Trump came out first and foremost and said that he declared victory. He first declares victory, and then at the same time he says that he wants those states that have all those unaccounted for ballots that still need to be counted, the votes by mail, to stop counting because he's so far ahead that it didn't matter. And then at the same time, the flip state that's more than likely going to go to Biden, as of the time I went live an hour ago, Biden had well over 100,000 vote lead in Arizona with about 600,000 ballots to be accounted for, mail-in ballots. So while Trump was saying in the states that he's ahead to stop counting all of those, mail-in votes, right? He then said we need to continue counting votes in Arizona. So President Trump, and CNN said this, and I think everyone else, I'm sure even Fox News, that's a conservative channel, said the same thing. That you want the states that you're ahead to stop counting ballots, but the one that you're losing, the state that you're losing, that you won in 2016, should continue counting ballots. And I'm like thinking to myself, what is wrong with this guy? What part of that makes any sense? How can anyone, including the people that have voted for him in the past or voted for this election, respect what he attempted to do? He's attempting to stop democracy and the process of it. And then he's saying that, we're going to sue these states if, we feel there's wrongdoing. We think there's something going on there, right? Well, what happened? What happened? Earlier today, I could not believe it. Some of those states, Biden made up the votes because, like CNN was saying, those votes that were remaining were absentee ballots / mail-in votes. And we all know, we knew because even in other states that, Biden won, it was those absentee / mail-in votes that were primarily skewed Democratic because, remember, Biden was pushing mail-in voting and Trump was pushing in-person voting at the polls, right? A bunch of those states flipped, which has given Biden a huge advantage. Further showing that the president knew that all of those mail-in votes were going to flip those states to blue from red. In essence, our own commander-in-chief has been trying to stop democracy. I'm at a loss for words. I'm not here to be critical to anyone. I'm not here to attack the president. I'm not here to attack anyone. I'm here to state the facts. I'm here to state the hypocrisy. I'm here to state this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And if you folks, and I say this with lots of love, even to you conservatives out there, you Republicans out there that voted for Trump, how can you respect someone that's trying to stop democracy for any reason, right? And if you do respect what he did, then are you being a sore loser as well? Seriously, ask yourself that. Are you being reasonable? Are you being a good human being? This, folks, to me, is unlike anything I've ever seen. And if I go back again to the past 4 years have been unlike any other years of my life. Completely different. And if you don't think that the President of the United States affects each and every one of our lives, not only here in the U.S., but even other countries as well, because we are the strongest nation in the world, right? People look up to us. If you don't think that the Commander-in-Chief, the President of the U.S., affects everyone, then you're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. And now, Trump is going to do what a lot of these conservatives always do, even when the opponent wins legally and rightfully, within the law. He's going to fight this. He's going to try to extend this as much as possible. He's even going to try to, prevent, if Joe Biden wins, he's going to try to prevent him from coming into office for as long as possible. And like CNN said last night and today, why can't some Republicans come out and say, hey, look, man, we're a part of your party, but this is ridiculous. This makes you look bad, regardless of whether you're a Democrat or Republican or whatever you are. It's despicable behavior. This is despicable behavior for any adult, let alone the Commander-in-Chief. I'm just floored by the whole thing. I'm floored by it. Then later on, Biden came on for a little bit and made a nice speech. And then again, both Trump and Biden did a speech earlier today. I did not get a chance to see Trump's speech. Maybe I'll go back and view it. I did see Biden's speech, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, the one that he did today as well. And again, Biden has not said that he's won the election. He feels good that he's going to win the election. He feels good that it's heading in the direction of him winning. But he didn't flat out come out and say what President Trump said, that he's won the election. And again, another thing that Joe Biden said that is the most important factor of being a president that's in charge of the entire country, including everyone, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever, is that it's not about blue versus red. It's not about liberals versus conservatives. It's not about Democrats versus Republicans. Same thing, different words, right? The job and the responsibility of the Commander-in-Chief is to have everyone's best interest in their head and in their hearts. And again, folks, that means the world to me right there. That absolutely means the world to me right there. I don't like to kick anyone down. I really don't. Have I made mistakes in the past? Yeah. Have I said some things in the past, even out here on YouTube, on other channels, on other live streams? I've never really pushed the boundaries out here on my channel because it's not really me. But on other channels, I said some things I didn't mean, and I've apologized for them. Many, many times I've apologized for those things, and I didn't mean to say those things. And a lot of those things were taken out of context by these conservative people, these lower class conservative people that I'm not saying are bad people. You folks are not bad people, but until President Trump came in office, you didn't have a voice. And now you feel you have a voice. And just because I'm not a conservative, you folks are going to come at me and attack me just because I'm stating my opinion. And I'm not even projecting it onto you. I've never projected my views on anything or onto anyone. I'm just really disappointed. I'm just really disappointed at the behavior of the president. I'm so disappointed at the point of where, even back in the days during the Bush era, between the father and son, honestly, I've never once voted Republican because I never felt that the Republican that was running was a better candidate than the Democrat. But I'll say this. I would have been much happier having any other past Republican candidate in office again, or Republican, president in office again over Donald Trump. Even if George Bush would have been in office during Trump's term. And I wasn't too happy about, George Bush, not the father, the son. The father's in a better place now. God rest your soul, sir, even though I didn't vote for you. But yeah, I would have rather had Bush in office, and he was criticized for not being the smartest man on the planet. And maybe he wasn't. But he never once treated people as despicably as Donald Trump has. He never once was intentionally unprofessional as Donald Trump has been. Before I wrap this up, again, I just want to come out here and say that I love people in general. I love everyone. I give everyone a fair chance to be my friend and to associate with me. I don't shut people out because they're on the other side. They're a Republican, or I don't shut people out because of their race or their age or their sex or their national origin, right? Or their sexual orientation. I like dealing with good, honest, and ethical people. And that's not how this country was run, in my opinion, for the last 4 years. It is time to bring morals, values, and ethics back to the good old US of A. One more time before I wrap this up. It is time to bring back good old-fashioned morals, values, and ethics back to the US of A. Probably left a lot out that I wanted to say, but whatever I missed, I'll come back either tomorrow or the next day with a live stream. The next live stream probably won't happen, or the next video won't happen here, whether it's a live stream or a pre-recorded video, until after the election is finally decided, or at least there's a projection made of who the winner is. Until then, you folks all take good care of yourselves. Be good to each other. Please, no riots. Let's make this smoothly. We've had enough violence in our country. We do not need to have violence if President Donald Trump is not reelected. Let's handle this maturely and professionally and with grace and dignity and pride. Either way. That being said, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you to Lewis Fuller for being here and anyone else that was watching behind the scenes. Have yourselves a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye.